Hello and welcome to the T3 Handicapping YouTube channel. I am Chris from T3 Handicapping, and I'm here to bring you episode 3 of the Bet Laboratory, where we will continue to look at the winogram method and see how things are doing after 3 days of testing. So it is currently Friday, May 27th. Let's take a look. Before we jump into things, though, just a couple of reminders about ways that you can connect with us. This whole video series, again, as a reminder, is just a way for us to come together and hopefully become better bettors. That's ultimately the goal here. Is we're testing different strategies, different bankroll management systems, things of that nature to try and help make everybody a better bettor. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I'm a great handicapper, I'm just a lousy bettor. Well, we want to fix that. And some of that will come from just testing the good, the bad, the ugly. Some of these things will work, some of them won't, and that's just fine. Either way, we don't really care. It's about becoming better bettors. If you have anything in particular that you would like to see tested, or a strategy that you think has been effective or have heard other people using effectively, go ahead and comment on that down below. I want this to be a learning environment where we can all learn together, so go ahead and post ideas down below in the comments. I'd be happy to take them under advisement and try and build them so that we can test them out over a sample of several days. Now, with regard to just T3 handicapping in general, there's a lot of ways that you can get in touch with us. The first one is by going to our website, t3handicapping.weebly.com. There you'll find all kinds of things, including free race summaries and picks for any of the tracks that we've handicapped. I think we have 5 on tap for tomorrow. So that's a great opportunity to get some of those free picks. You can always catch episodes of Betting Laboratory that you have not yet watched. You can check out articles from Betting News. There's all kinds of content there. You can always find us here on YouTube, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe, and that way you always get notified when we're posting new videos. You can like and follow us on Facebook. It's a fan page, and that is T3 Handicapping Horse Racing. I post a lot of things in there, a lot of sample picks, just top 3 picks if you're looking for something quick as you're heading out the door to the track, that you can get there, and a lot of news and updates goes there as well. And then Twitter is kind of a live update, more real-time updates as things occur, and you can follow me there at Handicapping T3. So lots of ways to get involved. But what we're here to talk about today is our Bet Laboratory Day 3 experiment number 1, which is the winogram. Now, some of you may be just coming into this for the first time. This may be the first one, this first Bet Laboratory that you've seen. And so I'm just going to give a quick rundown of the strategy that we're looking at. So this is called the winogram. And just a reminder how it works. You've got these 2 triangles. One is right side up and the other one is inverted. This one over here is your horses, and this one represents 100% of your bankroll. And then we divide it up so that we are putting the most amount of our bankroll on the smallest amount of our best opinions, and the smallest amount of our bankroll on the largest amount of our, say, weaker opinions. So we split the chart into 3 parts, and any blue dot is represented by 20%. So 20% of our top opinions go in this top category up here, and 20% of our budget goes to any of these horses down here. So you can see 50% of our budget goes to our top 20% of opinions, 30% of our budget goes to 30% of our budget goes to 30% of our top opinions, and 20% of our budget goes to 50% of our lowest opinions, kind of our longer shots. So that's the general premise. This is really a bankroll management strategy. It's not really a betting strategy. I've been using this exclusively betting to win. So the bet strategy would be technically a win strategy, but really you could use this just as easily for trifectas, for exactas. The pick ends might be a little bit tougher because you'd have to modify because it goes across races, but nevertheless you could still do it that way. The key here is the parallelogram is really a bet strategy in terms of bankroll management. So how do we make sure that we preserve bankroll so that we can be successful? Let's take a look at how it worked today on day 3. So day 3 was a very productive day. We have been a little slow out of the gates. Yesterday, I had tested against Indiana Grand and Gulfstream. The day before that was Indiana Grand, Horseshoe Indianapolis. Sorry, I will probably do that for the next 2 years. But it was a good day here at Belmont. Today I did Belmont, Churchill, and a Gulfstream as well. So let's take a look at what we had here. Belmont, I had set aside $50 to play today, though I only ended up spending 35. So that's what you see there. Race one, we came out of the gates. I like the number three at 10-1, so I put $2 to win on that horse. It did not win. In race two, I like the six horse at 9-5 or better. That horse ended up getting bet way down, and so I put a red X over here. When I put a red X in this column, it means that I did not play the wager. If it's over here, it means that I lost the wager. So you can see in race two and in race three, my choices were bet down substantially, and so I was not able to play because they were both deemed underlays. And I think that's one thing that's really important with this is you still have to look at this as, you still have to have sound fundamentals. If a horse is an underlay, for the most part, you don't want to be playing them, at least not in this section here, because this is where I think most horse players lose most of their money. Race number six, I was willing to take. Race number three is where we just left off. So let's keep going in chronological order. Race four, I played the number seven. He was 5-1 on the morning line. Put a $3 to win. I felt okay about that one. I missed that wager as well. Race five, I came back and I bet the number six horse, who was morning line 8-1. $2 to win on that horse, and that horse did not win. Then we came into race six, where I had the number five. I would have taken the number five down to 6-5. I think he went off 3-5. Did not play. I just kept my money in my pocket. So now that I've passed on all three of these races, my alternate race, which was race eight, bringing the number seven in, came into play. If I could get the seven at 3-1 odds or better, that's what I deem to be fair. So these odds here are fair odds, in my opinion. These odds down here are just the morning line. So after race six, things hadn't materialized. We hadn't been able to play a larger bet. Really, to that point, we had only played $7 in total. Race seven, I bet the number four, who was 8-1 on the morning line, and that horse did end up coming home. I had $3 to win on that one, and the horse ended up returning $16.80 on those $3. So at that point, I had made $16. I had only bet 10, so I was up for the day. But my big bet was yet to come. My strongest opinion was in the last race. I really liked in race 9, number 2. It was my top-rated horse. I felt like the horse was going to get the right trip, and so I had $25 to win. That's my big bet. 50% of my $50 budget was invested in that horse, and that horse won at really, really good odds. I got very lucky that it stayed at solid odds, and that one ended up yielding 108.75 on my $25 win wager. So all told today at Belmont, I came out plus 90.55. That was a big jump forward from some fairly tepid results that we had in the first couple of days. Gulfstream Park, another good day. Now, one of the things that I've talked about before is that you really have to have a strong opinion. You should match these parallelograms, the winograms, to your opinions. If you don't think a horse can win, or if a horse doesn't fit a criterion, don't jam them in there just to jam them in there. I didn't have a good standout horse. When I looked at in fact, I can probably bring up my T3 grids here from today. If we go and we look, you can see that my T3 grid just had no identifiable top choice. I mean, this race was a 73 confidence, but I still had two horses in there, and you start going through and looking at how much they're separated. I mean, 100-97. In the second race, it was 100-95. So there just wasn't any separation between the top horses in these races. So I just didn't have a top selection. There was nobody I felt confident in. So what I did is I eliminated the $25 to win, and I just basically turned this into a giant top portion. I kind of combined these two sections together and basically said, okay, I would take 25 here normally and 15 here. So I'm just going to commit $40 to anybody who is, in my opinion, an overlay. Race one, I played the number 4 horse. I felt that fair value was 7-5, and I got right on that. I believe. I think, in fact, he popped the gate at 7-5. I felt his chances were pretty good. I liked both the 4 and the 2. Remember, these are odds I'm willing to take. So you can see these were my two strongest opinions, and those are the two horses that I gave 13 of the 40. My two smaller opinions, closer to 3 to 1, 3.5 to 1, I only gave them $7 of my cash. So when I went to wager on this, I put in 13 to win on the 4. He won. That was 31-20. I didn't have a strong opinion in race 2. I just couldn't really figure out. There's a lot of first-time starters, so I just passed the race altogether. And again, that's something you can do when you're using this. And in fact, it's something you should do. It's sound betting practice. Race number 3, I played the number 1. He was 8 to 1 on the morning line. I had $3 to win on him, and he returned $11.10. Race number 4, I came back and I played the number 1 horse at 3 to 1 or better. It was at the post time. The horse had $7 to win and returned $30.80. And then race number 5, I had the 9, who was morning line 12 to 1, $2 to win, and that horse paid 29.20, winning in that race as well. So through 5 races, I had played 4 and I had won 4, and that probably would have been a fine place to stop. But I'm trying to play this thing out all the way through. So I waited on race 6 to see. I had the 7 at 7 to 2. The 7 went under that price, so I did not play. In race number 7, the number 1 was 15 to 1 on the morning line. I had $2 to win on that one and yielded nothing. In race number 8, I would take the number 2 as low as 9 to 5. That did not happen. This horse, I believe, went off at even money, so I couldn't play it. So I just kept the money in my pocket. So I kept $20 from here because I didn't play those 2 wagers, and so that's where I get the $30 spent there. The final race of the day, I did put $3 to win on the number 8, and the horse did not fire on the Tapeta surface. So when you add up all of the cash made here, it ended up coming out to a profit at Gulfstream today of 72.30. Now, keep in mind, I'm using $50 bankrolls on this, so I was ahead 72.30 here and ahead 90.55 here. So far, really good days. Even Churchill in the slop. I didn't have a great day to start. Race 1 and race 2, I couldn't get the proper odds on my horses, so I had to pass, which brought this in. You'll notice that here I didn't have an alternate race. I didn't have a race that fit there to be an alternate. So I just said, if I get bumped out of some of these races, I do. Like, it just is what it is, and you got to move on. So I wasn't able to play 1 and 2 because of short odds. I played 3 and 4 and 5, all as long shot plays, and lost them all. I came back in race 6 and placed a $5 win wager because I was getting the best of it, I felt, and my horse did not run, and so I lost there, and that led me to race number 7. In race number 7, I played Butterbean. I thought that horse was a steal at 6 to 1, and apparently so did everybody else because my $2 win wager ended up only paying about 6.20 when all was said and done. Race 8 was my big play. Race 8 I had as my standout. If we go here, I can show you how I arrived at that conclusion. We come over here to Churchill, and you can see that on our picks sheet, I had the number 7 as a 79 confidence rating in the race, and I had the horse as the lone A in that particular race. So it was kind of an easy choice to make that horse my top selection. I did. The horse won with $25 in. The horse ended up paying $45 to on the $25 win. Now, that's a little bit below even money. Again, it was a work day, so I was kind of putting these bets in ahead of time. I wouldn't recommend often playing bets that are below even money, but today it kind of worked out. You've seen in a couple of the other videos, if you've watched, that it hasn't always gone that way. So I take the good and the bad. Again, I'm not trying to prove how smart I am in these videos. I'm trying to see if these strategies work so that I can implement them and become a better. So all told, I had to pass on these 2 races, so that's $10 in total. I ended up only spending $40. I won $51.20. So it was a $11.20 profit there. What that meant for me is that it was a good day. It was a very good day, in fact. And so when we look here, now this is over the course of the 3 days so far. Again, my goal is not just to test it for a day and then move on. I want to see if these things are sustainable over time. And so now we've had a chance to do this over 3 days. We did 1 track, 2 tracks, and now 3 tracks. I'm not going to do 4 tomorrow. but I'm trying to build at least enough of a data set to say like, yeah, this can work. And if you followed some of these videos, you know that the handicapping in the first couple was not good. Like I was off badly. So if I can be off this badly and still produce these kind of results, that seems to indicate that this is a good money management tool. Now at Horseshoe Indianapolis, I am minus $51 right now. I am plus 105.60 at Gulfstream Park. At Churchill, I'm plus 1120, and at Belmont, I'm plus 90.55. So overall, really good. Just Horseshoe Indianapolis, we're still working to refine picking the winners there because that's where we've really struggled the most. You look at our profit by day. So this is looking at sort of the total kind of running profit. So you can see here that on this day here, we were minus 38.50. Yesterday, our profit was 20.80. Today, our profit was well up here in the 100 and well over 150 here. So, when you look at the 3 days so far, our running total is plus 156.35, and that's a 1.62 x on our return on investment, which for just straight win betting, I don't think that's a horrible thing. You know, we had the one really bad day when we first started testing it. Yesterday we had one good track and one not so good track. Things went well at Gulfstream, but not so good at Churchill. And now here you can see that because we had the three tracks that all went well today, that we spiked. Now I would anticipate that this will go up and down over the remainder of the experiment, but I think this is a good indication that the bet sizing is allowing us to stay afloat when our opinions are even moderately right, and I'm excited about that. That gives me hope moving forward that this might be a bankroll management tool that I can use to effectively manage my money, which I think at times is even more important than being a good bettor, is just making sure that you don't bleed out before you have a chance to score. And so overall, right now, I'm really happy. We are still in the experiment, so I'm not going to snap to judgments. But right now, indications are pretty promising that this could be a viable strategy for the long term. So we will continue to monitor. I'll continue to try and do it over the course of a couple of tracks. The really nice thing here is it didn't take me that long to assemble these selections. I mean, I kind of run through the T3 sheets in the morning. I don't really handicap the races. I don't dive into the past performances. I don't really even look at the middle column of the race summaries at all. I kind of look at the pick sheet and I do a lot of my analysis. I just look at the odds on the left-hand column of our race summaries to see if a horse is one that's going to have to be an overlay play or if it's going to be a long shot play. I'll just use either fixed odds in the UK or I'll use like the profit line on Twin Spires to help me establish my own sort of fair odds. I also have a formula myself, but I like to get a couple different inputs on there. And so I think today I put together all three tracks in about 25 minutes, my picks. And that was the entirety of the time that I spent handicapping. And you can see over 3 days that, you know, doing that is 156.35. And I haven't even really been watching closely to see if like plays are falling too deep under. It just kind of depends on when I get breaks at work. So overall, I'm feeling really good about where we're at heading into day 4 of the experiment. And I will continue to keep you updated. Now, with that, we have 5 tracks available on our website for tomorrow. So if you're planning to play Belmont, Churchill, Gulfstream, Santa Anita Park, or my home track of Canterbury, they are all available on our website. Belmont, Churchill, and Gulfstream will be going off sort of midday tomorrow. Santa Anita being on the west coast, we'll have a later post time, sort of mid-afternoon, and then Canterbury will be going off for some night racing under the lights. In order to find that, you just go to our website, t3handicapping.weebly.com, go up to this little button at the top that says Daily Picks, and you'll just get the blog, and you can scroll through it and get all of our past picks as well. If you want to go back and check and see kind of how they've worked out in previous days as well. So that's there for you. Please feel free to go to our website, connect with us on Facebook, connect with me on Twitter. Any way that you can get in touch, I'd love to have us connected. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in. I hope this series, you feel like you're becoming a better because of it, and I hope that you're taking something from this. It's certainly been a fun start for me to really examine the way that I'm approaching the wagering side of things. So, if you have any ideas as to future strategies that you'd like to see, money management strategies, specific bet systems, those types of things, just go ahead and comment them down below this YouTube video. And we will look to implement them in some of our future experiments. But for now, we will continue to update the Winogram through the end of this weekend to try and get a more viable data set to really establish if this is, in fact, as the early signs point to, a viable bankroll management tool. Thank you once again for all of your support of T3 Handicapping, whether it be here on YouTube, on our website, Facebook, Twitter. It doesn't matter. We appreciate the love from everywhere. Thank you so much. And as always, cash those tickets.